Hey, what's up? Long time no see. I know. I've got a couple videos coming out soon that'll explain more about that. But for now, you did read that title right. I had the opportunity, yes, little old me, I had the opportunity to speak to the FDA in a Zoom meeting about ostomy supplies, a little bit of my ostomy experience, things like that. And you may ask, Nate, how did you get that opportunity? And I would tell you, I have no idea. That was never my plan. Never something I thought I would see myself doing. But it happened. So let me tell you a little bit of how that all came to be. And then I'll just go right into the video. I recorded myself on the Zoom call with this camera. So don't worry, FDA. I hope I didn't break any rules. Like, I didn't record the Zoom meeting. No one else's names or faces are shown or mentioned or any of that. So let's just, all right. Anyway, let's talk about how this happened. Not sure if you know this organization or not. It's called the UOAA. They are the United Ostomy Associations of America. And they're like the largest ostomy organization, I think, in the world, but definitely in the United States. And they have a smaller, like a subcommittee, an advocacy committee, and that advocacy committee has another subcommittee called the Patient Advocacy Board. And I've been a part of that Patient Advocacy Board for a couple of years now. And all that is we get together a few times a year and we just talk about things from a patient's perspective. So, through some connection through the UOAA, down through the advocacy committee, then down to the patient advocacy board, we found out that we had the chance through a couple connections to join a Zoom meeting with a portion of the FDA, and they would hear us out, talk about like the definition of different ostomy things, talk about insurance, talk about our experiences with having an ostomy and what it's actually like. And, regardless of how you feel about the government or different government organizations or the FDA specifically, you got to take different chances when you get them, right? And I have so many friends that do amazing acts of advocacy. They're going to state capitals and they're talking to this person and they're writing this letter. And when I get a chance to do something like this, I'm happy to do so. I take it, I don't know how much change it actually causes, but it's something, right? It's a cool chance. So anyway, there were how many of it? There were 5 or 6 of us that got to speak. So when you're watching the footage of me giving my portion of the meeting, if you think like, oh, well, he didn't cover this or he didn't talk about that, that was just the stuff that I was talking about. There were still 5 or 6 other people from the Patient Advocacy Board that spoke. They shared their experiences, and then they touched on different points that have to do with insurance and supplies and definitions and things like that. So anyway, with all of that said, it's just a cool opportunity, and we take them when we can get them. We don't know how far this went with the FDA, don't know all the results, and, don't know if we'll get another chance like this again anytime soon. But for now, it's cool to move the needle forward a little bit in helping people with ostomies and chronic illnesses and things like that. Enjoy the rest of the footage, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Glad to be back. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye. Thank you. I did write down my remarks because I tend to ramble. So, but yeah, my name is Nathan Hadlock, and my point of view today is coming from someone who's been in and out of the ostomy world since the day I was born. I was born with an imperforate anus, and my large intestine was not formed at all. I had multiple surgeries as a baby, and consequently had an ostomy until I was almost 2, at which time my stoma was reversed, and some amazing surgeons created a colon and an anus for me with what tissue I had to work with. Fast forward 20 years that were great in public, but horrible in private, and my body started to shut down quickly because it turned out that the nerves and muscles in that colon that was built for me were never actually alive and working. The food I had eaten for 20 years would just sit inside, poisoning me and slowly getting worked out of my body. I visited a number of physicians in my teen years who all said that everything looked good, even though I knew it wasn't. When I was 22, I finally found a great doctor who diagnosed the issue quickly, and I then had a total colectomy and was given a permanent ileostomy that I've had since 2010. And just to add a little extra perspective to my story, when I received my permanent ileostomy as an adult, I had to learn all about this new lifestyle and the supplies I'd need for the rest of my life. But as a baby, my parents and anyone else who took care of me had to do all the learning and try and make it work for me. In this community, patients and caregivers have to constantly go through lots of education. Now, aside from my story, I just have 5 quick points I'd like to touch on. As a new ostomy patient, once you're out of the hospital, you feel like you're completely on your own, trying to learn a new body, a new life, navigate different companies and products. And because it can be so confusing and overwhelming, many ostomates never change, or if they do, take years to change the kind of supplies they use from what they were given initially in the hospital. Even though most likely there's a superior product out there that would work better for their lifestyle, body type, or skin type. Number 2, we need a lot of supplies, and frequently. Getting and using these supplies is not a here and there infrequent type of thing. There's a large variety of pouches, wafers, adhesives, adhesive removers, wound care supplies, and the list goes on that we have to keep stocked constantly. And that goes into number 3. Ostomy supplies are a large and constant expense. And many people living with ostomies also, I don't personally, but a lot of them do live with a chronic illness or disease. And so I can't speak for everyone in this community, but personally, it takes me a long time to reach my insurance deductible, if I reach it at all, in certain years. And so for years, I've been paying every month for my ostomy supplies out of pocket. Number 4, even here in the US, supplies can be hard to find, especially in an emergency. Other than getting product samples, the major ostomy supply companies make you go through third-party distributors. Buying from an unknown source on Amazon is an option, and most pharmacies don't actually carry anything ostomy related. I've lived in a few cities, including the one I'm in now, where if for some reason I ran out of supplies, my only option would be to go to a local hospital and ask if they'd be willing to lend me what I need to get by. And then lastly, mental health is a massive issue in this community. Many of us spend our days in some way, consciously or subconsciously, worried about leaks, smell, skin irritation, passing gas because we can't control the sound that comes out of our stomas. It just goes for it whenever it wants. And awkward social or professional situations. So having a comfortable, secure amount of the correct supplies can make a massive difference in the daily lives of the millions of us who have been saved by these varying ostomy procedures. And like what's been said, these are not just medical products or equipment to us, they are an actual extension of our body. I'll just leave it at that for now. I really appreciate this time and opportunity. Thank you so much.